and welcome to the daily reading for all signs for today, the 11th of December, 2024. This is Ariel, and today I'm reading with this beautiful Bosch Tarot, and I'm going to purify with this Vervain by Fragonard. You can find links to both of these products in the video description of this video on my YouTube channel. Let's see what's in the cards for everybody today. Starting out with that beautiful 5 of coins, everybody's favorite. 6 of coins, that's the spirit. And then we've got this page of wands. So it's a good thing because the 5 of coins is something that's been going on for a lot of people. Fear about money, not having enough money, more bills than income, feeling like you're going to be destitute, worrying that, or maybe you have been destitute, worrying about, very serious issues in the physical world with your assets. That could be money, job, health, any of those things. So some of you have been going through a lot of fear, and some of you have been going through a lot of problems. And it's saying that solar light doesn't want to have any of that. That solar light is also in the same suit of coins. The solar light's vision for your life is that of prosperity and health. So that is, and then you have to be willing when you work with that solar light to have things work out for you. You have to be willing to not be right anymore about it. I know for myself, for so many times when I've had problems, whether it's been financial or health or whatever, and the solution was presented to me, I doubled down on my poverty. And I didn't even notice that I was doing it until somebody pointed it out to me. It's just like, that this is going to solve your problem, right? And I would think to myself, I can't believe I was doubling down on my poverty. So be careful that again, we don't want to feel like, like you're to blame for your poverty. That's not what we're talking about, but you want to take responsibility for your thoughts about it. And it's important to recognize that if you are hanging on to any resentments or being right about any situation or why this is so bad, that to the ego, those resentments are much sweeter than you solving the problem or for you to move into prosperity. The ego would much rather you not have the prosperity and instead be able to hang on to the resentment about why that poverty was there in the first place. So the solar light is saying, don't worry about it. I've got this. Whatever the problem is, it's like nothing to me. But I can't do anything until you are willing to let go of it, until you are willing to no longer need to be right about it. And then it just vanishes. Then it just disappears and everything works out beautifully. And in fact, where else you're headed today is opening your mind to a lot of possibilities in your career or your work in the world. These are all new ideas. These pages are always about new ideas, news, new ways of thinking about things, new projects, new. And so all this newness comes in, this fresh, new, beautiful work energy comes in. But you don't get to that point until you allow that solar light to cleanse you from any attachment that you have to the poverty. And it's not your fault. Don't blame yourself for it. It happens to everybody, but just know that that's how the ego works. When there's a problem and then there's a solution, the ego wants to tack into the problem and do everything it can to dig its heels in from avoiding the solution because it feels like, no, but the most valuable thing is me being right. The most valuable thing is me having resentment, not solving the problem. So it's an interesting thing to remind ourselves of frequently. You know what? I think I forgot to shuffle and cut, so I don't want to do that until I at least shuffle one more time and then give a nice cut. Clean cut, I always say. Not a dirty cut. Okay, then we've got this 8 of Swords, and again in the past. Then the 4 of Swords, which is a wonderful card. And then we have this beautiful 8 of Coins. Yay! It's all about the attitude. Eight of Coins is saying prosperity, prosperity, but you have to think about your attitude as being a control panel, and that you want to dial up the gratitude and dial down the resentment. Because when you do that, especially in regards to money itself, look about what it feels like when you spend money, or whenever you think about money, whatever it is, find something to be grateful for. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to pretend like it's there if it's not, but you can find something to be grateful for. Did you eat something today? Well, obviously you had enough prosperity, so finding gratitude, even if it seems inconsequential compared to what you think you should have, dials up that energy so that you do start to get what you want. You do start to get what you want in abundance. And so that's a Mercury card, and Mercury is all about the mind and learning how to control and operate the mind rather than having the mind operate you. The Four of Swords is talking about what to do in regards to all of your obsessive thinking, where you can't put the past in the past, where you can't cut yourself free from the past, where those problems that were occurring in the past, you don't want to, or I don't know if you don't want to, that's probably not accurate, but you don't know how to stop obsessing over them. And it's saying you must obsess over it. You must obsess. No, it's not saying that. It's not saying that at all, Ariel. It's saying you must cut those thoughts off. You must disengage from them. And when you disengage from those thoughts, those obsessive thoughts about the past, it triggers a Jupiter energy to expand on your good. So you can use my off switch technique. That's what I use when I can't turn off my obsessive thinking. That's my tool that I go to. And you can find it if you don't know how to use it. You can find the video for it right on YouTube. Just search for Gotoga Off Switch. And what that does is, for one thing, the video is super short. I think it's like 2 minutes or something. And when you learn that technique, you'll learn it in an instant. And applying the technique takes a matter of a moment. It's just seconds, not minutes, seconds. And use it again and again and again and again. Anytime you find yourself tied to your past, anytime you find yourself tied to those resentments. We think that if we don't resent things or resent people, that somehow we're going to be victimized by them. And the opposite is the truth. When we disconnect from our resentments, we are no longer tied to them, and then that solar light can work through us to grant us, bring us everything that we desire. But we have to be in charge of two things. Well, it's one thing is our mind, but there's two ways that we need to be in charge of our mind today. It's saying first is shutting down any obsessive thoughts that are tying us to the past and events from the past. And number two, dialing our attitude, dialing in the attitude of what we do desire. Because if we have resentment toward how we're spending money, we are telling our deep mind, please send me things to resent. If we are grateful for things when we're spending our money, then the deep mind looks at that and says, oh, I see. They want more things to be grateful for with money. Oh, coming up, here it comes. So it's a very practical tool. And sometimes we don't think that we can take charge of our attitude, or that we can take charge of our mind, that we don't think that we have the ability to shut down obsessive thinking, but we do. We are just so used to, as a species, having our minds run amok that we don't know how powerful we are. And so when you can learn this and really master this, and again, it doesn't need to take hours and hours or even minutes. It's moments. It's in the moment too. You don't have to become a master at meditation. You don't have to become a master at magical operations. You just have to learn how to, in the moment, be aware of what you're thinking and dial it into what you want rather than letting it go run amok. And when you do that, everything changes, especially when you're calling on this solar light, which is that part of the tree of life, part of the universe, that amazing power that emanates from that sixth sphere on the tree of life, that is miraculous in nature and that knows exactly everything that's going to make you happy. and it's that divine design. And it's so organizing, just like how the sun organized a solar system around itself. It can organize your life in such a way that everything works out for you perfectly. But again, you have to do a couple things. You have to call on the solar light, because it's not going to just come in and do it for you, because that would be akin to an attack, and it's not going to attack you. So you have to ask for it, A. And B, you have to live it. You have to do what you got to do with your mind. You have to shut down those thoughts that are obsessive. You have to ask for help when you can't do that. And you have to learn how to dial that attitude right in to where you want what you do want. Now, the solar light, there are a couple meditations on the solar light, and I just did a lecture on the solar light. So you might want to go to my main YouTube channel. But you can also just search YouTube for Gotoga Solar Light. I have a whole playlist on it. But one of those meditations, they're very brief meditations. So if you listen to one of those meditations, you'll learn how to do this. And you can do it just like that off switch. You can learn how to do it in a matter of moments. And those are two things that you can use your mind for all day long that are going to bring you what you want, rather than letting your mind, run you. And run on automatic and bring you everything you don't want. So it's a good thing, and it's a good day. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and we will see everybody for another daily reading tomorrow. Until then, blessed be.